Hello everybody, Krydax here. Welcome back to our Pure Angels playthrough where we are really almost jamming with our city blocks. We have come very close to automating everything in the city blocks to the same standard as everything that was being made previously, with the exception of science, of course. And science seems relatively easy to copy and paste potentially into a different block. And then we just need to provide it with all the different inputs. And we will have to make all the different colored blocks eventually. But for now, this is a good science setup, so it will just be running off of the materials requested by this train. So that's nice. And other than that, we've got all the resin stuff that we haven't really replaced yet either. So if we want green circuits, we will have to remake some of this in a city block. Potentially throw liquid resin on a liquid train. Not sure about that yet, I haven't decided, but that's an option, depending on how many places we need resin and how good liquid resin is versus solid resin, and where they're all used. But for now, we are going to work on the cable harnessing, because we set up the cellulose over here in preparation for that in the last episode, and I've just remembered that, well, I was told that those belts were missing, and I just remembered that, so we need to go fix that real quick. I can just kind of run by here. And yeah, so a couple announcements channel-wise. I'm going to be moving soon, so over the course of the next month, streams are going to be a bit more sporadic than normal, and YouTube releases will also be a bit more sporadic. But I also will have some time off because summer break is beginning soon, as I'm a teacher, and so I will have more time. So I would expect there to be more videos in total, but potentially less frequent or consistent in the releasing of them. Also, I need some lights in here, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. Can't stand the darkness. Yeah, it's pretty good. Get some light for my algae farms. How are they going to get chlorophyll if we don't light it up? Not that this fake lighting will provide that, but, you know. Okay. I need one down here. Bam. Okay, so we've got that, and now we need to make this setup, which I don't need a ton of stuff for it, nor do I need a ton of assemblers. So I want to pick somewhere where I might end up having multiple blocks. I think we'll just go with this one because of convenience and location. I guess I could go with this one, but right now this only has one. I'd have to add another station to this. You know what I might do? I might revamp this to the new station style. I like that idea. So we're going to change this block to the new station style, and we will have to modify it a little bit because of the coal patch. Because we have put as many miners on this coal patch as we can to provide our network with coal. Okay, we have arrived. So I think, well, here's the problem. We have 93,000 coal here. So we can cut it off, but we're going to have to move that over somewhere. So we'll do that here. Get rid of our inventory, grab the coal. Should only take a few times of this. Okay, check. Now my network's going to be scared because it thinks there's a problem, but there's no problem. Nothing is to worry about. And we're just going to remove all this, I think. And all this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to want more requesters here and also more providers, because we're going to provide coal and we're going to provide the two different kinds of cable harnesses, so that's already 3 items right there. So we need to get all that provided. And we'll get rid of all these pieces. I believe that's naturally part of the city block. And Archcraft, you've redeemed another name redemption. So which block do you want to own now? I am going to rewrite your name smaller, finally. Although I kind of like these bigger names. As people redeem more and I put them in city blocks, I might actually write everyone's name a little bigger. Because I think the big name shows up a lot better on the city block. So maybe we'll just stick with this. Blueprint for the Archcraft. Da-da-da. Alright, well I will let you give me some input on which block you want to be in, and then we'll get that placed. And we shall make our new city block stations, which seems like my blueprint book was all ready for that. Now the problem here, again, is those stackers are definitely going to be in the wrong place. But that's okay. I can move that. And at least everything else should be in the right place. Bam. Bam. So we can get this going. And I will have to kind of remake the stacker to the left here. Okay. So stacker. Now, there should be a signal here, shouldn't there? Oh no. Oh, I think we decided there doesn't need to be one. Because this doesn't have enough space behind it to fit a train anyway. So the only other signal I guess I could have would be far enough back to let both of them would be here. And then is that one, yeah, that one doesn't have enough space behind it. So yeah, we did decide we can't actually fit two trains here. So we did that on purpose. We were smart. I need to trust past Krydax. He's not crazy. I mean, he is crazy, but not for those reasons in particular, at least. And then let's get rid of all these pieces. And then what I think I'll do is copy that stacker. Here we go. I was going to say, I'm like, there's got to be a place I can just copy it from. So we'll copy that, bring that down here, and I will just kind of move it over to where it shall fit, which shall be here. I definitely don't need these. Get that connected up. Just greater than 100 machines per tier 1 ore that I want at the potential rate I want. What? I apologize, but I do not understand what you are attempting to communicate with that message. Perfect. Connect that, and then this can just kind of slide up on in there. And I believe we can't fit an extra train, so I will just put a signal here. So we have room for one full train there, and then it'll go into the stacking system. So I guess this one should be a chain, actually. Because these are not chains, so that works out correctly. Alright, so that's done. We need some light here, because it's dork. Dork outside. We don't like it when it's dork. So that's good, and now I need to connect up the coal belt over here and set that up again. I will probably go underneath or near the bottom line here, so I will reverse this belt. Is that smart? Should be fine. Yeah, I think I can just reverse all this with a second of work. Oh, you want to produce a full yellow belt of sheet coils. Yeah, that's a lot of ore. To say the least, that is a lot of ore. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not producing a full belt of sheet coils. What am I producing? I actually forget. I'm doing it based on ore counts. So what did that end up becoming sheet coil wise? It looks like I didn't fully make it out in Helmod, but it looks to be 11.25 of each sheet coil, roughly, and double that for iron, but half of it gets used for steel. So I'm close to a yellow belt of sheet coils, according to my quick estimation there. I'm also always scared when I'm doing belts like this that I forget one, and then half of them end up not working. Oh gosh, what is this nonsense? This needs to get out. Yikes. Maybe what I'll do is that. And now these need power. Double yikes. Okay, do that. Power that up. This goes out. This goes up. And so now that's all going on that little underground belt. Perfect. And then this goes backwards. Huzzah. Splitter goes this way. In. This around. And then... Now, I'm going to put my little balancer boy, just because I don't know exactly where everything's coming from. This balancer is very interesting in the way that it works. I always feel like I think I understand it, and then I don't. But it's pretty easy to make from scratch. I usually start with the splitters. You do 1, 2, 1 with a space, and then you do undergrounds like that and delete the first one. And then you go straight on the back end, and then weird turns like that. And so what this balancer does is it only takes it takes one lane, essentially, from the belt, and then it makes sure that that lane gets equally split onto both sides of the belt. And so the left lane will always be equally split, and the right lane will be equally split, and then those get merged here. And so it will, even from 2 right lanes, it would produce a 2-lane full belt, which I think is pretty sweet. But then when you have, it's really made for 1 belt of input rather than 2. It's either 2 single-lane belts or 1 just double belt that you want everything to be balanced on. Because this is output balance. If I only take from one side of the belt, it will still use both the left and right sides of these belts, which is very nice. So it will help. The reason I'm doing this, well, I guess I'm not using inserters like out, so I guess it won't really matter as much because I'm going to use loaders. But normally this would be helpful because then it would make sure that we use miners on both sides of the belt equally, because sometimes if you have inserters taking coal off, it'll only take from one side, and that can be pretty frustrating. And then these, that way these miners are contributing to both sides of the belt rather than just one. The limitation here is actually, though, I was wrong. I was totally wrong. If this belt, just as an example, I will drop some coal on here. If both of these were only on this side, it wouldn't produce a fully compressed belt. Because both of these would go to the right, which could only go this way. So this is actually made to just output balance things, because it's not throughput unlimited for 2 lanes. I guess you could do 2 of these and then merge it. I don't know. We don't really need it in the first place, though, because I'm using loaders. So there we go. All of that was a nice little waste of time. Cool. So we'll just run this way, and then I will, I guess, just keep going. We've got an empty space here, which is kind of nice. And then our first loading station will be in the back. We'll just load the coal into that one. One more to the left. Oh wait, that's not. Can't do that. Okay, we can't do that. And then I don't like going that close to the rails. I'd like a little bit of space. That looks better. Not that I care about aesthetics usually, but I like to keep things mixed up, You as the viewer are sitting there thinking, oh, I love Krydex because he doesn't care about aesthetics and he always, just does what matters. And then some others, very few. No, I'm kidding. No, I was about to say that some of you also are like, I love Krydex because he always cares about the aesthetics, but that would be a total lie because I totally don't. Oh, we don't need that. I'm probably not caring about the aesthetics 90% of the time. And then I just arbitrarily decide when I want to care. You know, it makes sense. We'll go ahead and mergeify all those chests, and bada bing, bada boom. Ooh, whoop, bloop, 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 bloop. We need to bring over all the coal. Hold the phone. I need a hotkey for this. I'm tired of clicking on that button. Also, apparently, I did not build enough chests here. Okay, whatever. That'll work. Okay, so how many trips do I need for this? I don't know, too many. Part of me almost wants to use the train for this, but the train only has 60 slots, so it's not that much better. 28 grand, so I'll need to do 4 trips. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Just mildly annoying. Back and forth. Speaking of mildly annoying, what quality of life researches can we do? Crafting speed, I'll go ahead and queue all those up. And then we got mining speed. I don't really need more of this. I actually find, I will do one more because that's only 30%. You can have too much mining speed, honestly, in my opinion. I don't like it when, if I right-click on a belt, it doesn't, like, if I right-click as fast as possible, it still mines the belt. That's actually too fast. I don't like that. But crafting speed is over here. Reach is over here. We'll do some reach ones with the green. And then movement speed, we got another one of those. So we'll get some of that done. Bullet speed and damage. Now that's a great idea. Upgrade the weapons that we most certainly don't need. Man, imagine carrying enough coal to provide, what is that? 28 times 4 is about 100 gigajoules. I don't know what the fuel value for coal is per kilogram, but I'm guessing it's not even 4 megajoules, so I'm imagining one item of coal in this game represents a significant number of kilograms of coal already. So, yeah, now I kind of want to look it up, but I have no idea what it would be. Yeah, 28,000 coal is going to be a lot, though. I think someone was asking the question, like, how much weight could the Factorio engineer carry? And they landed on some absurd number, and you get there by using oil refineries, I think, is the rough estimate on how heavy oil refineries are. That's the most weight you can carry per stack. It was either that or nuclear reactors. I can't remember. But I think 10 oil refineries came out to more than 1 nuclear reactor, so it's pretty absurd. Alright, so we've got the coal hooked back up. Did I need to do... I did. I need to name this station, and I need to fix the Combinator being off. Yada, yada, yada. And I need to name you, provide coal. Although we are going to have more coal mines. So what am I calling them? Provide ore. No, that's request ore. What did I call these? Oh, shoot. I was naming them based on the ore, not starting... I should start with mine. Mine, coal, central. C for central, right? Is that what I decided? I think C was central. Trying to be somewhat consistent with this. I don't see any other C's, but I'm pretty sure C was central. I know I made one. C for central, where are you? Oh, you know what? It might have been the other coal mine. It's kind of funny. That's probably what it was. So, that's unnecessary. Alright, so then that is filled up, and we already finished all those. Those were fast. I will do another movement speed and a few more crafting speeds just because I can. Don't have a ton other things to research right now. Okay, so finally, I believe we're ready to start building this. That took a hot second. And we need sheet coils and wire for both copper and tin, and that's it. So that's not too bad. Copper, sheet coil, some number, tinned sheet coil, tinned wire, copper wire. And what are we going to do for each of these? Maybe 20 stacks? Is that, what's the rate on all this? Where'd it go? Here. No. Here. 0.75 a second of each. That feels pretty small. Should I make more cable harnesses? I guess I wasn't... If I did this, I forgot that I did this. Where else are cable harnesses used? They're used in a few construction things. And cabling, which we need for lots of various things. So I definitely should make more of the green ones, because we decided cabling was better made from the tinned ones, because the tin is basically the same price as the copper, because a tinned wire is the same price as a copper wire, and a tinned cable shielding is the same price as a copper cable shielding, and 1 cellulose each. So I just get more cabling that way. I probably should make cabling in this block as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to output... how do you do this again? We want to link 3 of it, but also add more of it. I guess we can just change that here, 200% production on that. Or no, that's the wrong one. This will be 100%. We'll go 200 there. So that requires a little bit more tin, but not crazy. I just want to build it a little bit heftier, and then we'll also... I guess maybe I should just add in the cabling rather than guesstimate here. And I think it's equal inputs and products, is that right? It's kind of annoying, if you're linked, you can't set some of the other things. It is very interesting. Because we want the other things to be linked, but we don't want the cabling to be linked. I don't know if you can do that in the same block or not. Oh. Well, now it does it. Then why wouldn't it let me click on that? That is very odd. That would be a nice quality of life feature for Hellmod, if you could do that. Because I have to unlink it to change this, and then it fixes itself. And then if I link it, that does stay. But you can't change it otherwise unless you unlink it. It's a bit interesting. 5 cabling per second might be enough. What else does cabling go in? Logistic blocks, locomotives, those energy data cores. But by the time I need those, I can easily add more stuff. Servo motor. Yeah, I don't think we need a ton of these. But maybe more than 5. I'm going to call it 6. Because we have 6 types of blocks, so that just feels like a nice round number. Archcraft, you're right. Bobmonium does take a little bit longer to mine, so slightly more energy. Not a huge difference, though. The energy cost of the mining is very insignificant along the whole process of making plates. Especially as things get more efficient, the mining becomes less and less of a factor in that. So I'm never really worried about ore. Ore is easy to go get more of. So I'm not going to, like, totally change my decisions based on that. If I was really short on a certain ore, I might make a decision based on that, but at least in this mod pack, ores are mostly created equal. It's in stuff like Addons where it really does not feel like ores are created equal. So we need wire for both. Just trying to think of the best way to organize this. We also need some more Let me just get this copied in first. Wait a second. Did I do something wrong here? What is the situation? I could have sworn this connects correctly, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Okay, it's just that last piece that always gets me. Yeah, but the amount of ore that you need does not contribute a significant percentage of the plate's energy cost. You know, you spend way more energy on the 15 million processes you do afterwards, right? So you mine one ore, it has to be crushed, that takes energy, then that ore has to be sorted, that takes energy, and then that sorted ore has to be processed, that takes energy, and then that has to be blast furnaced, that takes energy, and then that has to be induction furnaced, that takes energy, and then it has to be strain casted, which also takes energy. So, and these are all equal, right? The amount of energy for each of these is equivalent. Now, tin does require coke, whereas copper requires oxygen. So that's actually the most compelling argument that I didn't think about, is the coke input for tin, whereas copper has oxygen, and oxygen is actually quite cheap to get. So what's ironic, though, is iron costs coke as well. So copper's kind of cheaper than iron in a way. Anywho... we need to connect this up. I'm trying to remember, does this work? No, it doesn't. What did I do for this one? I'm trying to remember, does it branch off like this, and then that? Yeah, I think that's how it works. That's there. That there is the one we want. That'll be on. This will be on. We'll figure out the order later, providing, and then I'll need one more for cabling, because we're providing coal, 2 types of harnessing, and cabling. So we'll go ahead and copy, not all of that. There we go. And I shouldn't need more than, in fact, I really don't even need an extra space. So we'll do it that way. Alright, then this comes in, connects there, that's done, you go on, and I think that's it. So I like our new system, way easier to add stuff in and subtract stuff. So we're gonna have 2 types of wire, I think, and they're very, very much not needed frequently. So hold on. What is this doing? Hey now, the linking isn't working correctly. Interesting. Oh, I need to control click that. There we go. We also want to link that one. That's more accurate. Still only need 1 assembling machine. So I think the simplest version is to do this, because then I don't have to worry about what would I have to worry about? I don't even know. 2 belts, I guess. I avoid needing 2 belts. So that's tin, that's copper. And then the output should be fine with 1 mini loader. So that works. And then, in fact, it works in such a way that I should put it on the same belt. Because the rate we need is still at most 9. And we have 15 on each side here. So that's good. And then we need the cellulose. Oh, I forgot to request cellulose here. Cellulose fiber. There it is. That is going to be needed in much larger quantities because it's not compressed. So 40,000. Nope. I want 40,000 items. not stacks. What would that get me? 12 per second. Didn't mean to close that. 12 per second. This would give me 4,000 seconds, so like an hour per train load of that. That's pretty significant. I don't think I need that much. Maybe just 30,000. 20,000. Half an hour. 15,000? Go with 15,000. And then these are much smaller amounts, so we'll go with 4,000 each. I guess we need a little bit more of the 10. We'll go with 8,000 and 8,000. And then to keep things flowing, this will use 2 items a second. So I want 225 extra. I like having 100 seconds between, like at minimum. So that is 1 stack only. So my stack threshold here, I think, could be like 36, and we'd be fine. Because 4 stacks should last me far more than 100 seconds. So yeah, I think that's good. Oops. Yep. Go ahead and turn on. And whoa, train shortage. What's up with that? Sure looks like there's trains available. I guess I did request 5 items at once, so that created 5 train deliveries, all at the exact same moment. Alright, so we've got the deliveries done. This is going to be coming in. We also need the sheet coils. Now this is a little trickier because I need 2 for the tin, so I am going to just put these with filter mini loaders onto the same belt as well. And I believe the way to do that is such. And one of these will be copper sheet coil, one will be tin sheet coil, which is good. And then we take that down, pass it around. 59 bottles of copper on the wall. Didn't really work. And then we need 2 for tin, 1 for copper, and then we need to make the little, what is that, shielding? Cable shielding. And then we need a bunch for the result. Yeah, not bad. In fact, I feel like I should move this over here. Yeah. This one will go around. And then get that powered up. Okay. You are on copper duty. You're both on tin duty. Side of the belt, close. Now, what would be smart? Smart. I like to be smart. We're gonna do a thingy that says, "Hey, let's make copper go to the right." And you're gonna be copper plates, yeah. And you're gonna be tin to the copper to the left. Sorry. And you're going to be copper wire. And then that will magically put copper on the same belt and tin on the same belt. Ta-da! Thanks for coming to my magic show. And then those will need to meet up with cellulose at some point. Oh no, we need the shielding. Crap. Well, at least the materials are next to each other. So for copper, that only requires 2 buildings, which is pretty insignificant. So the shielding can pass by here. And then on the top is the wire. The wire gets preserved. The plates do not. So the wire goes on a magical journey to join with the shielding, which I'm now realizing should be closer. Like this. And the shielding will go this way. And these put on the close side of the belt. And there we go. Ta-da! That'll work. And then we need the same style, but longer for tin. How many? Oh, we need 12 for tin, so that's a lot slower. We're making 3 times as much of it, but we need 6 times as many buildings. So that would imply it is twice as slow. You guessed it. I think I can fit 12 down here. He's a little tight, but let's try it. So we're going to remove that for now. These will all be built the same way. This is tinned shielding. Where is that? Here. Maybe? No, it's in this intermediates. There it is. And now this can kind of transition over to there. I'll leave that unconnected for a second while I get myself figured out. So 12 of these would involve copy and pasting this, and then copying that 2 more times. It barely fits. Perfect. And we're going to do the same trick here. We load that way. These are all on the close side. Oh, no, that does not work. This, by definition, will be on the close side, so this somehow needs to get over to the far side. The other way to do it involves this, which is a bit more consistent, but we're not powering up that inserter, which makes that inserter a sad boy. But that's okay. Okay, so we fixed that. We need to fix this one to do things. Oh, I did this differently. That's why it worked. Let's give a little bit more respect to past Krydex. He wasn't as dumb as he looks. There we go. That will do what I want it to do. I was like, I swear that made sense in my head. Well, that's because it did make sense. It did. Let's check on the coal here. Is this all mining correctly? It's not. Mistakes have been made. Wow. What even... That belt's not even going... Oh, man. Glad we're checking on this. Because there are some issues. This needs to go left, and then this never even got hooked up to anything. So that looks better. I was going to say, I was like, I'm pretty sure we should get more coal from that with all of these miners. Okay, don't get run over. Go behind the train. Good choice. Good choices were made. Okay, so the shielding is now on belt with the wire. And now we just need to run that past a set of assemblers to make the actual harnesses. Cool. And the copper ones will go up over there to the left. So we'll put the copper one. We can fit them in nice and snug here. I think I'll put them right here. Maybe one more up and to the right. One down. And then this will come up here. Yep, and then this will be the output. So in, yes, out, yes. And then the cellulose will come on the right side here. Power, 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 power. Cool. Don't have to worry about sides of the belt. The output is not enough for that mattering. And then we should be able to go underground, maybe here. Yep, that'll work. And roll on into that provider. So this one will be the copper cable harness. Provide copper cable harness on 40 stacks. Should not be a threshold for this. I think this is one of the 4 stacks at the minimum. Now, the thing about that is kind of interesting because the low stack thresholds can be bad if a big requester has requested more than we can provide. Because then every time it hits 4K, the requester might be wanting 40K, but it sees that it can get 4, so it'll take 4. And so you can't... Unfortunately, there's no minimum request along with a request threshold. Because a request threshold is just saying, I will request what you want as soon as I'm missing that much of the item. But it actually is not specifying, and this is where a lot of people get confused with LTN. It's not specifying, I will request that much of that item. It's only specifying when the requesting will trigger. And so a lot of people kind of get that backwards. and they think that a request threshold is the minimum amount it will request, which is not true. And then in. So that'll be whatever this stuff is called. Cellulose. Okay. Good. Good, good. And now I need a 18. 18 feels like enough for a dual side of the belt, because this is already 12. So 18 would be that big. Is that crazy? Nah, that's not crazy. I'll just do one big row. One big row works better later with beacons. And then what's fun is the cellulose can skip 3 for potential beaconage and come along here. And then this stuff will come along here. No, that's bad, right? Will beacons reach that far? No, they won't. Right. That's why I only have 2 spaces. On the other one. Ugh. You know, part of me hates beacons. And the impositions they put on building. But part of me also loves them, and I build my bases in accordance with the laws that they give me. Okay, and then this one, I mean, if I really wanted double beacons, I would actually put this closer and do like the sideways inserter thing. But I don't think I'm ever going to have 2 layers of beacons. So that'll be in, this will be in, and these will be out. And then we connect. For the sake of better powering, I'm just going to bite the bullet and do that. Because then it's smoother. I'll grab the right recipe. Cable harnessing. Tinned cable harness, that is. And then I should be able to copy paste that 9 times. We got 4, 8, 12, 16, and 2 more, 18. And then finally, on the way out here, I will run this by a little line of, well, actually, wait a second. Maybe I'll run it this way. A line of 8. 4, 8. Yeah, we can just run it down past this. Heck, do it that way. Seems reasonable. So this will run past feeding in the ingredients. Those will be the outgredients, as I like to call them. You've got ingredients and you've got outgredients. It just makes sense. I've run out of inserters, so that will have to be fixed. Because you can't do the whole Bob's adjustment thing, which is very annoying. I guess if I'm really desperate, I can enable the configuration mode and change them to long boys and then place them. Oh wow, that doesn't even work. I assumed that would work. This doesn't even work on ghosts. That's interesting. I actually assumed that would work. I've never tried it, and I just found out it does not. So we definitely need more inserters. Not a good thing to run out of. So we'll pop back over to the home base, which we still need. I will make a mall city block eventually. But I feel like we're still... I guess we're not too far from that. I could maybe make that in the nearest future. Once I have these blocks, I think I'll have everything. I won't have everything I need for science, but I'll have everything I need for a mall. I believe. I also have a bunch of trash here. Let's dumpify. Dumpify some stuff. Trash, 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 trash. Definitely some trash blueprints. Especially that Archcraft one. Archcraft, you never told me where you wanted your name either. Why did that have a restriction on it? Who knows? Get rid of all the wood. No need for that. No need. No need. I have a bunch of blocks. I don't need some of these extra straggler blocks. And everything else looks good. I probably missed something, but It looked good at first glance, at least. Good on big poles. LTN stations. Pretty good. And what else we got? I have not used very many filter inserters. The reason for that is because I'm not doing multi-provider stations. Part of me is glad I'm not doing that. Part of me is not glad. I think for Pyanodons, I'm definitely going to go back and do multi-provider again. Because multi-provider stations allow you to save so much space. I mean, for example, this could be one station. This could be one multi-provider station, and a very large one at that. With the problem can be loading speeds, so sometimes you want to still have two multi-provider stations, because otherwise only one train at a time can load. So if you're going to have really high traffic environments, you maybe don't want them all to be in one station, but you could theoretically put them all in one station. And multi-provider is just very nice. I'm actually curious. I was asking this in the Discord, and I don't think anyone had a good answer for me. So if anyone on YouTube, if you guys have any great ideas, I'm curious. This is so cursed right here. I'm curious if multi-provider stations would actually be more UPS friendly as well, because this all could be one station that just has some circuitry. And I know circuitry uses some UPS, but with how many stations it would save you, I feel like that actually might be more efficient in a mega base at the end of the day, if you have tons of train stations, to just have, you know, like a third as many train stations around the base that are providing, but a little bit of circuitry. I just think that'd be less taxing on the computer. That's what my intuition says, but I have nothing to back that up, and I have no way of really knowing, because it's not that easy to just test that. You know, you'd have to make a bunch of, like, sample multi-provider stations, and then a bunch of sample single provider stations, and have some sort of, like, test mega base that's requesting all those things at a very high rate, and then see what UPS, you know. That sounds like a lot of work. Maybe someday I'll care enough to test that, but that day is not today. I'm gonna get... No, I don't need more pipes. Just kidding. What did I need more of? I had a thought to walk over here. That's the thought. Chests. Always want to have enough of those, because of the merging chests taking more of them. And then blocks, I feel like I was pretty good on, actually, so I'm not gonna waste my time with that. And I also ended up with a random yellow splitter, so we'll get rid of that. And we are fully shopped. We've done our purchasing, and we are back to building the base. There's a nice alliteration right there. Back to building the base. Do we need more researches? I believe we do. We'll go ahead and research lubricant and powder refining, because we will need both of those. That does not lead to any more green researches, so that's the end of that chain. We do have another paper research we can do. I doubt we'll ever actually use it. We have silicon level 2, tier 2, whatever you want to call it. Farming 2, which can get me fertilizer. We may need that at some point. And then a different recipe for soil, which someone was telling me is potentially better than the one that uses mud. So we'll have to check that out. A different recipe for carbon, that's mostly used, I think, for something else. And aluminium, I'll have to do that eventually. Hey, Cold, how's it going? I don't quite understand your greeting, but hello? Does that mean something in another language? Is that some meaning I just don't know in this language? Not totally sure about that one. I'm also a bit concerned that copper sheet coils haven't shown up yet. Are we completely out? Inventory. No, we have 35,000. What's going on here? I mean, I feel like that's a Canadian thing, right? Like, hey, you hoser. And it's like a kind of a bad thing, right? It seems like a bad thing, but maybe it's like a term of endearment bad thing, like when you call someone very bad words, but because you like them. I don't actually know. This is providing with a stack size of 20. So why is this not working? There should already have been a trip here. Maybe I just set this up wrong. Let's check this out. Okay, not so bad. Gotcha. We are collecting 4,000. Oh. I see what I did wrong. In fact, how did the rest of these do anything correctly? Oh, there are a few that are to 40 stacks, but these are to 20. So my stack threshold needs to be 16, not 36, because the lower number is 20. That makes sense. That makes sense. Ah, the team who lost the hockey game had to hose down the rink. Now that is a you learn something new every day type sentence. I did not know that. I don't know much about hockey, actually. It's a fun sport to watch. I just don't know a ton about it. Like, I don't even know if I know all the rules exactly. I know some of them, but not all of them. Alright, so we're going to make these cable harnesses, and then... Oh yeah, we forgot the long inserters. That's why we went back to the base. And then we're going to put them on the other side. No, this is cabling. Sorry. That is the wrong recipe, but the right setup. So thankfully, that's all I have to change. Okay, so the cabling goes there, and then that gets provided as well. And what I'll do is I'll split... We'll have halvesies, so half of it will go to be tinned, what's it called? Tinned cable harness? I can't remember all these names. I think that's tinned cable harness, and then this will be cabling, and that'll just yeet itself into this gigantic warehouse. Do I need limits on this? Limits. Each one of these is roughly one plate and one wire. So do I need a limit on that? I don't think I do. 468 stacks of plates. How many plates is that? I'm definitely not making very many coils per second. I'm making like 4 coils a second. That being said, also thank you for the follow, Cold. Very much appreciated. Oh, it's so cool how I have exactly 240 of these, though. And they're like swapping back and forth. It's a little bit psychedelic, actually. I can't take my eyes off it. All glory to the Hypnotoad. So, what am I actually trying to say here? If I'm making enough of these for 1,000 a minute, roughly, then 5 stacks a minute. This is like 100 minutes of this running. I think that's a bit too much. In fact, I think this is a perfect example of unmerge, and this will just be a half size. I kind of forget I can do this sometimes. Oops, I didn't really mean to deconstruct that completely. Because this works, you know, you can just do a long skinny boy. And then that's 234 stacks, which is a much more modest... Oh, nope, that doesn't work. Unless I make these short, and then it slows them down a bit. That's probably okay. I will receive that consequence. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll do the same thing here. Merge. Bada bing, bada boom. Connect to the station. And then that one. Let's go with that. Cool. Alright. Alright. I guess I need to do the same thing here, too, don't I? Ugh. Keep doing this wrong. Whatever. Link. Check. And then shorten all these guys. Check. And then that needs to be moved over one. Okay. Alright. I think we're now good. This is not yellow, which is still concerning me. Shouldn't you be requesting some copper sheet coils there, buddy boy? Which means that should be yellow? Or so oh, it already has them. Wait a second. Then why is this... Oh, I'm looking at wire. Copper wire. I think copper wire is actually on the short list. Yeah, we are out of the cop wires. All right, well, that's a bummer. But I believe we can rename all these things. Provide copper cable harness, mine coal C. This is request. What have I been calling it? Request ingredients. And then this is for harnesses and cabling. And then you are provide. What are you providing? Tin, cable, harness. Am I doing plurals or not? I am so not consistent. I think I'm doing singular. So you are provide cabling. Got it. And you are on. 40 is way too high. 4 stacks at the minimum. 16. This is 4. This is 40 stacks of coal. That's fair. I should never request less than 40 stacks of coal. I guess I might. But you can still request less amount than that. It just won't show that it's providing until it has at least 40 inside of it. So I guess that's another good thing to think about. Because a high provide threshold actually isn't a terrible idea for any resource that you might ever want a full train of, because then let's say I run out of coal and it's refilling slowly. If I set the provide threshold at 40k, it'll keep getting requests for exactly 40k. And that's just 3 times as many trains as if I put it at 120k, and then we'll only ever show this to the network if we have a full train's worth. And then if you don't want a full train's worth, that's fine. You can still come and get your 4,000 coal or 2,000 coal or whatever. But excuse me. But if you do want a full train's worth, then this won't show you it has any until you can connect the dots. And so I don't know. 40 seems reasonable, but now I've convinced myself, especially since this will be full a lot of the time, to at least change it to 60. But I feel like I actually should put that at 120, and I'm not doing it for some odd reason. Something inside of me doesn't want to set that to 120. But we've got cabling provided, so bada bing, bada boom, checked off the to-do list. And now I have a lot of capital letters aimed at me from past Krydax. So I think that will be next episode, Krydax's problem, fixing the crushed stone. So I think we'll call it an episode there. We finished cabling, and we did some other things. So nice work, nice work. We got a lot still laying ahead of us, but it's always a good feeling to get things set up and fixed and running. I don't know why they're not running yet because of the wire, but shouldn't 10 be running? Oh, I didn't finish this. Hold on, episode's not done yet. Sorry, everybody. We will hook up the stupid cellulose real quick. We completely did not do that. Yikes. This is what happens when you're not being super observant, apparently. That needs to come where? Here, which is kind of inconvenient, so we'll have it come this way. Right there, that's cellulose, and then the other cellulose is needed down here, so what I'll do, this means there would be some sort of priority to tend, which I don't really want to do. We'll split off at the beginning. I know technically there's one that gets a shot at the cellulose before it gets split, but that's okay. That means it will only slightly skew towards tend harnessing, but not anywhere close to 100%. So now we should be set up, and then once we get copper wire, the copper harnessing should go. But let's just watch this for a second, just to make sure we didn't screw things up, and we definitely did. This is all 10 plates. Oh, the 10 is flipped. Ha. Now that's funny. So the copper one actually is going to work correctly. But the 10, what side of the belt the plate's on is actually on the other side. So the same design is not going to work. Classic. So we'll just do that, and then now it will be on the close. Actually, maybe we do this, and then now there we go. Okay, well, unfortunately, I need to clear off this whole line and then hand off all of my plates now. And the shielding, get rid of that. Get rid of the plates. Get rid of copper wire, or tinned wire. And now they're running. Perfect. Aha! All the cable harnesses you could ever want right here. Okay, well, I apologize for the false ending, but I think we are now ready to end the episode. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode.